But I want to call the meeting to order and review the minutes from the August meeting.
Move to approve.
A motion, is there a second?
Second.
Motion second to approve, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That carries. And
Power system revenues were $7.5 million this month, about $100,000 from last year. Cost of goods is right at $6 million. Margin for the month was 18.75%, pretty decent. We posted 17. We were 17 this time last year. So $1.6 million. We budgeted 1.5 essentially. Total on-in cost was about $846,000. We budgeted $837,000. And net income for the month end was $175,000. We budgeted $47,000. Year to date, we're $460,000 against the budget of $120 essentially, $150 this time last year. If you look at the stats for the month, sales were 84 million kilowatt hours. That's up about 1% compared to last year. And degree days, we all know it was a little warmer than normal than last year anyway, but actually cooler than normal. And we didn't really update this degree data. Apologize for that. But if you look at the balance sheet itself, total long-term debt is still $17 million. And I've got a slide at the end. We'll talk about debt refinancing and all that kind of stuff at the end if you guys don't mind. From a cash standpoint, total cash we're about $13 million. Spendable cash for about $9 million, which is still pretty decent. And that's really all I've got from the electric standpoint.
let me ask a question. I was reading something that the mayor said about his expected growth in Hamlin County. Did y'all, anybody see that? I think I saw it on, I'm not sure what, Facebook or something. But he was, well, I'm sorry, I can't remember, but he projected, I think within the next 2 or 3 years, it'd be 4,000 or 5,000 more people in the city.
Patty, you read that, did you?
Real?
You remember that?
You read his Facebook.
I mean, like everybody
4,000 or
else.
5,000 more people in the city.
In the city?
Well, see, I keep wondering where all these people are gonna come from that are in these houses at Carlisle's building.
Well, I started saying car.
And apartments.
Yeah, that's not gonna be.
He's not gonna build 4,000.
Are they coming from outside the county, or are they?
I hope they live in the city, that'd be good for us.
Yeah.
Well, it had something to do with the county population now, and I think it's a little over 60,000. And the city is a little over 30 now. I believe he said that he expected it within just the next few years that the city would grow another 5,000.
This is gonna
He
impact
said
the schools and everything.
If you want, George, he said the entire county will be nearing 70,000 in the next 24 months, is what he said on his.
And we're 60, what are we now,
Yeah.
60, we 66.
I don't know how the city will be bigger unless you annex much,
No.
something like that. You might have something in mind,
That's pretty
There's
much
not
it.
enough housing.
but that'll be a lot of it.
He
The
won't.
infrastructure investment.
Yeah.
I think he was using it to justify the community center.
Oh.
I think that was part of what he was
That
saying.
makes sense.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I think-
I
I
didn't
mean,
mean
that's
to
just-
interrupt
yeah.
this, but when I was looking at our number of customers, and we did have
We're up about 70 or so.
70 or something customers, that came to mind. Excuse me, go ahead.
From a water standpoint, 672,000 essentially, and budgeted 660. Total O&M expense is 445,000 essentially, budgeted 450. And net income for the month is about $73,000. We budgeted 62, 45 this time last year. So year to date, we're $160,000 against the budget of 154. If you look at the sales for the month, gallons, we're turning 38 million gallons. That's up about 1% also, just like the power system. And rainfall, if you look at the balance sheet itself, total debt's about $10 million. And if you look at cash, total cash of about $2.7 million. Spendable cash is about $950,000. I will say there's about $1 million there that we need to refund ourselves from bond funds for construction expenditures. So it should be about 1.9 million roughly. look at sewer for the month, total revenue is 1.2 million, budget 1.2. Total M expense is 610,000 essentially against a budget of 598, 560 this time last year. And net income for the month end is $120,000. We have budgeted 34, and we were essentially 100 this time last year. Year to date, we're 516,000 against a budget of 125, and 250 this time last year. Total sales 105 million gallons. It's up about 6%.
How can the sewer be up
Yeah.
much more than the water?
Water.
Who's making water?
Yeah, right. So most of the water sales, or a big chunk of the water sales go to utility districts, right?
Okay.
Depends on how much that increase is where. What the water,
Or we got a lot of leaks in our sewer.
right, right. Let's see what the water sales actually were. What the increase
1%.
was.
1.1%.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. But of that 1%, resales were actually down. Yeah, so that means more of the increase was in commercial industrial
Yeah,
property.
but the sewer's up way more than the water.
Yeah, 4 or 5%.
Or isn't the sewer
Should be
tied to
directly-
the water
Well,
main?
yeah, but remember, your
You
resale,
think?
go back to
Yeah.
your resale, your resales are down in water, so that doesn't affect sewer. So water would be down
Yeah,
more
I
than
got
sewer.
you.
Yeah.
Right.
So the resale.
But, you know, as much rain as we had, residential sales and resales, nobody waters much. You're not watering your gardens, you're not watering your,
Yeah.
second night fishing, he went right up the day up to the
I
cat.
think we dug into
He
that.
put in an irrigation system, he's gonna use it whether it rained or not.
I think, Rod, we've got industrial pretreatment, and, you know, that's what they discharge. You take, Rich Foods, Colgate, Molly,
That's true, that's a lot.
all those guys, and I have to go back and double check this, but just off the cuff, I was thinking, probably what it is their flow rates may increase or something like that, and that would account for some of the revenue. That would be the difference in it.
That's why industrial.
Because we charge based on the constituents that's placed in the water, you know, we look at the BODs.
Right,
Yeah, we
gotcha.
got all
From a
those,
sales standpoint.
yeah, and all that rolls into that total sales.
Gotcha, I see, yeah.
Gallons.
Is it?
How's cooked food doing, by the way, man? Are they still using all?
Yeah, well, cooked food's another one, if their production's up, it can change. Because you gotta remember, cooked foods is 23% of sewer. If their production's up, then our care will drive it up. And that's strictly related, strictly the number of chickens produced a day.
Right.
And this was August.
Yeah, so they.
It's hard, sometimes you get, you're thinking
Right.
about current, when you're talking about the.
Yeah, and that right there, I have to go back and track those numbers down, but I know that can skew things. So like, you know, if cooked foods ramped up production, got another contract, then that right there.
So the industrial pretreatment, if the dirtier the water they release to us,
More we charge.
the more expensive it is for them.
Mhm.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Doesn't really tie to gallons though, right?
No, that's
Yeah.
that's dollars, that's right.
Yeah, I understand it better,
So-
thank you.
But the cooked foods does tie gallons.
Yeah. From a balance sheet standpoint, debt, again, about $76 million. Keep in mind, all this is back in August, right, like you said. Total cash, 6.2 million, spendable, or about 2.4 million. And from a telecom standpoint, so revenues for the month, 875,000, we budgeted 904. The bulk of the difference there, although you see differences in residential video, business video. There was some, I guess, estimation for Newport revenues and other income. It's obviously the largest difference. That had anticipated to be started in July or August. And it's actually gonna start the month of September. We're probably 2 months behind, actually, from the project standpoint. Cost of goods were about $290,000. That's down simply because programming is down, just not as many video customers. The bandwidth cost has actually dropped a little bit for us. So it leaves us a margin of 586 for the month compared to 591 from a budget standpoint. Total O&M is about $415,000. We budgeted $373. Net income for the month is right at $88,000, we budgeted $123. And
Is the big jump in the operating expenses cause a Newport, or?
there's some costs there compared to last year for the TSR guys that we hired. Sure.
Where's the Newport revenue?
It'll be
Fall
on there, it will fall in there next month.
So it's not on here yet?
No, it'll just be a separate line item.
Okay.
And for what it's worth, that initial bill was $30,000 essentially. And it's split about 70-30 power and telecom. About 70% of that roughly goes to telecom, 30% goes to power, roughly.
For the asset.
Okay, back to asset. Net increase in connections for the month, 26 customers. And the next page, you'll see kind of a breakdown of commercial installs and disconnects. From a balance sheet standpoint, total debt of about $9 million. You see the interfund piece is down to almost $2.5 million. And from a cash standpoint, total cash, we're about $1.5 million. Spendable cash, we're about $800,000. And that's all I've got from a financials.
Okay, anybody got any questions or comments? Is there a motion to approve the financials?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes, thank you. You got two resolutions. The first resolution is number 2018-09-01, MUS policy changes. Whereas MUS maintains a series of policies that govern its business practices and has determined a need to modify and introduce policies. Now therefore, be it resolved that the Washington Utility Commission hereby approves the following policy changes effective October 1, 2018. The first one is, excuse me, a leak adjustment. The wastewater water. This is a revision to clarify some clauses to be more consistent in the application of adjustments. Number two, cash handling policy. This is a policy to set standards for the consistent handling of funds. And number three, the external social media policy. This is a new policy to administer guidelines on how customers and others use and respond to our social media platforms. Now, why don't we have a brief clarification?
Yeah, the leak adjustment policy, just, there was two phrases in the thing that just was kind of contradictory and contradicting themselves, and it was sometimes getting applied different ways by customer service. And I told Brandon, I said, well, and Mike and Clark, we all said, let's get it right. So we've taken one line out, but we have not changed anything on the way we apply it, just cleaned it up a little bit. So you know, if you remember, since we're talking about it, we will adjust once a year, a period of 2 months, for 100% up to 30,000 gallons over what is their average. Once it goes over 30,000, up to 100,000, then we will give 50% off on the water and 50% off on the wastewater. However, if they can prove that water did not go in the sewer off to our satisfaction, then we'll give them 100% off on the sewer. And that's up to 100,000. Anything above 100,000 comes to me and the board for special things. It does still, it's residential, commercial. It's not applied to industrial, but the board has the right to make decisions on industry. We very seldom have that. But it's basically just to clarify, it wasn't, the wording was a little confusing for customer service. It basically doesn't change anything.
We're not changing the policy, we're just,
Yeah, we took out a line in there, was kind of giving some heartache on how some of them, so Brandon, I think, has got them all going through him now too, so it just says house cleaning thing on that. The cash handling policy is new. I'll let Clark talk about this. This is his department, so.
It's really just, I guess, memorializing what the processes are anyway. People reconciling their drawers, you can only be out of balance a certain number of times for for certain dollar amounts, over, a 12-month period. And, these are all practices that have been in place, it's just not been an official policy. So when you try to enforce that, sometimes it's like, well, I didn't know, and that's fair enough, if somebody doesn't know, you can't hold them to a standard that you haven't made clear anyway. That's really all it is.
It tends not to be the Gestapo and look over the
Absolutely
shoulder.
not.
And, one utility nearby tried it, said it caused a lot of issues, but, we've looked at some banks around, this is very consistent. Some people just wanna strike you out, you're not gonna do something, somebody's a nickel off or something. But you can see by the chart at the end, it's kind of progressive based on how much they might be out. So, anyway, it says that may be subject to disciplinary action.
So it leaves you the flexibility, if somebody's out 2 or 3 cents a week, so what? They're out $100 2 or 3 times in a row.
Get video surveillance on the back line.
I wouldn't want that job. I don't think I'd ever.
No, too late.
Who wants to talk about the third?
The third one, we have a social media internal policy, how people use things here. This is for external social media. We have Facebook, now we're on Twitter. We have not had a policy that does things like if people get nasty. If you look down number 3, there'll be no use of vulgar language, obscenities, sexual, racial, ethnic slurs. If they just get on there and start criticizing others, like number 5 said, derogatory, harassing, inappropriate statements, we will not tolerate that on the Facebook pages we take care of. So number 6 basically is what the board would be approving, that we hold the right to remove comments and or block customers or any individuals who violate this policy. And from time to time, we have people that get on there, just, they need to be on topics instead of on our Facebook page if they want to do stuff like that. But we've had some things said that we've had to take out, and so, they get on and start slamming us or other people or comments that other people make. And Patricia brought that to our attention. She monitors that, and we don't want to do that. We want, people to be able to get on there and communicate with us. That's the point of having it. But there's when it gets inappropriate, we need a policy to block, remove comments or block if necessary. So that's.
Any questions on any of these topics or changes that we're talking about? Anybody any questions, comments? Do I hear a motion we approve them?
Someone to second.
Motion and a second, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Second, resolution, is something we do every year, and it's the Public Power Week, adopting the Public Power Week. I won't read that, if you just look through it, we do it all the time.
We do this for water, and this is Power's turn.
When is it?
October
October 7th through the 13th, Public Power Week.
We'll have some things out front and, for the public and the kids to play with. They got a little taste. What was it? We did touch a truck. You saw that in the paper? The kids told me they'd take a sewer truck over, and I don't even think maybe that's the appropriate thing to be touched.
I make a motion, we
Smell the truck.
Smell a truck, yeah.
Have a motion to approve the resolution on public power. Is there a second? Got a second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Okay, moving on, we have no projects in the power, water. We have one in the telecom. Who wants to talk about this?
I'll do that.
I was going, Florida, we're gonna do that out of Georgia.
This is to replace the digital content manager in the head end. This equipment is more than 10 years old. It's about 3 years past end of life. The company we work with the most, OnePath, has done multiple, maintenance runs on it, if you will. when we really probably shouldn't have. But essentially what this does is this is the equipment that assigns IP addresses to different channels. And when we talk about MPEG-3 and MPEG-2 and all this kind of stuff, you shape the bandwidth, make a channel smaller or larger based on the size of the screen or where it's going, all that kind of stuff. This is the piece of equipment that does that. So you take your satellite dish, you take the signals in, we have about 120 receivers that signal goes to from the satellite dish itself. And then from those receivers, it goes into this digital content manager. It's actually about 5 pieces of hardware, 5 different chassis. And that's all it does. The problem is, obviously, other than it's old, is that if any one piece of that fails, I won't say one piece, but if more than one piece fails at a time, we cannot basically ship our channels out to the customer. So whether that's the new product, the IPTV product, or it's the legacy system, it's that critical. We got 3 quotes, a company called Tulsa, I believe, OnePath, and a company called MUS. OnePath is a lower quote, including the services to install. Could we not do it? Absolutely. You run the risk of your channels going out and having more problems than we've had already.
How many customers will these components handle? Is it limited in any way for number of customers? It's a base component. It's not. It doesn't have anything to do with how many customers are on it. It's divided up before you send it out.
Yeah, essentially.
Remember the IP, we've switched to IP. It's, you know, you've heard George talk about RF. We used to just broadcast video out through there and do the filtering at the customer premise. IP creates a stream. So when you get on the channel, you're creating these IP addresses, I guess, hook up to the box at the house and you stream that channel.
Is this anticipated in the budget?
From a budget standpoint, it is in the budget.
It is in the budget.
Yeah, sure.
Which one of these?
We've talked about it for probably 2 years, to be honest with you. And it's kind of like the VOD piece. We keep kind of patching it along from a cost standpoint. I'm sorry, Brian, what were you saying?
Which one of these are you using?
OnePath.
Okay.
Oh, these are all the quotes.
Yeah, OnePath includes the service also. Megahertz could not actually install, neither could Tulsa. From a material standpoint, OnePath was the cheapest quote, least cost quote.
Okay, any other questions? Anybody want to approve this?
You're not impressed by my network diagram contract?
That helps, thank you.
All right,
I mean, it really
That's hard
does.
on me.
Tell them what MPEG stands
I
for.
mean, that was valuable.
Yeah, was that motion picture or something, right?
George would have started off with all these initials and I would have been looking for a train or
I
something.
forgot that we looked at it. Oh, it's something for
Second.
cheese group.
Second.
Got a motion, got a second, all in favor, aye. Opposed, thank you.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Clark, you want to talk about purchases?
Yeah, 2 items. First is repairing the asphalt, some of the asphalt areas at the warehouse itself. We had gotten chairman's approval earlier in the month to have some repairs down there ahead of the weather. And that's $26,000. And then the telecom side, set-top boxes for the new product, IPTV product. It's about 200 boxes, or 600 boxes, I'm sorry, $87,000. And that is also a budget item. So
Notice the unit cost, we used to pay $200.
Yeah.
Dollars for
$25,
those
it's come down.
programs, yeah.
Where are we on getting these things installed?
we're installing 8 customers a day right now on the new product itself. We started with 2 and moved it up to 4, now we're up to 8. And
Have we got the bug worked out?
we had a little bit of problem yesterday with DVR, but they got that worked out yesterday afternoon, essentially. That just to say there's no more out there, I can't say that, but it is essentially stable.
They're bringing mine Tuesday,
Yeah.
but you have to have one for each TV.
They're a lot smaller than
You have to have a box for every TV.
Well,
But only
if
one
we
of
go
them
this
has-
other product, you don't have to.
But only one of those
Yeah.
has to be wired. You can wire all of them if you want to.
So, is there gonna be a charge for each box?
Yes.
Yeah.
Already had.
Yeah.
So-
I'm keeping my next Spectrum thing.
So,
But we're still cheaper.
Huh?
We're still cheaper.
So you had 8 or 10 probably.
so when you put the new box in, your unboxed TVs won't work anymore
They will not work.
Unboxed TVs.
I
Everybody
asked.
has to have a box.
on every TV.
Every set has to have a
Mhm.
box.
Getting ours next to it.
It's gonna be a mess.
It is, but, you know.
That's why this other product's gonna
Everybody-
eventually.
Catch me too.
We waited as long as we could.
I've got
They're
five.
just trying to just trying to decide which.
Can you get one on the
We
end of
used
the
to have like
list?
7 TVs in our house. We decided to go down to.
Don't be in any hurry to
max.
come around.
But just trying to
Just
figure out
talk
which
about
rooms
maybe
were our,
having
over which
something
rooms we actually.
Yes.
Better.
Yes.
It's
I
taken
know.
around.
Continue to do this
Yeah.
until
Well, I mean,
we can
We've
move
already
on.
paid for the stuff.
What was that,
That's
all the
the
kids
thing.
are out now?
Yeah,
We paid
there's
for
no
how many?
reason to really
Well, I mean, we've already got the
make it
infrastructure.
down
in,
to
is the
how
problem.
we're gonna
We've already got the IPTV infrastructure in, is the problem. And yeah, it's like, we don't even have this rolled out yet, and you're talking about a streaming product, and that's the thing, it's like, this wasn't available 2 years ago, the streaming piece that we're talking about. This Mobi TV or Minerva 10 that we talked about, neither one of those was available 2 years ago. It would have been glorious, yeah, if it was.
If it was. I
But
think it is.
that's the big question is, if you can get someone else to pay for that investment, then you can migrate your customers kind of almost as you
Well-
need to, and you minimize the investment you have on the
How
old
how many of these new boxes do we have now? In stock?
He started with 200. I don't know what
Started
the
with that.
count is, but that is.
They're $3 each.
His initial.
I know.
count was
Was
200.
that all? That's not too bad.
And as far as having this product that requires set-top boxes, Johnson City is a track, they want that too. They're not just gonna go all over the top.
Right, yeah.
They want.
They're gonna have
There's
everything
no-
on it.
What is a typical customer, how many boxes is a typical customer taking? That's all.
Yeah, if they've got more, the typical customer has more than 2 TVs, I would think.
They may have, yeah. I mean, that's just the numbers we see.
And we're gonna charge $3 per box. This-
Yeah, but you don't have, you don't have the DVR box that's like $15.
Right.
There's a DVR charge for your whole home, that's like, $8.
So if you've got, let's say you got 2 boxes now, and one's a DVR, it's 15, the other one's like 10, right?
So
So
you could.
you got $25, you can get a lot of the other
Yeah,
boxes for
save.
that. Yeah, you may actually save money and keep all your TVs running.
Yeah, it's not the same.
I've got
Yeah,
4
I'm gonna
boxes,
say
one
one
of
too, I
them's
think.
a DVR only, so even if I want 5 or 6 of these
Can
things,
be
it's probably
problematic.
cheaper.
The thing about it is, it won't work, TV won't work without it.
Will it work on, will
Well, I'm
the
getting
little
killed
box
by
work on any
boxes now
TV?
anyway, more expensive, more than
Like an
$3
old
a
Let's just
piece.
say any TV, yeah, I mean, if
I've got 4 boxes.
we have one here that does not work on, I mean, it'll work.
I just got one box, but got 5 TVs, which nobody ever watches.
Okay, we need to approve this purchase for $113,116. Got a motion, is there a second? Second. Motion is second, all in favor, aye? Those, passes, thank you. Okay, Brian, you got a report on power?
Yes, sir. The 2 major things to note this past month were, we had an outage at Parkway Substation. We have 2 transformers in there and we have a split bus system. Half of the station went off due to a fault that happened outside the substation, and we had a breaker failure alarm. And we're still trying to chase down why that happened, but half of our Parkway substation was out for about 2 hours on this past Sunday. The other thing to note was Appalachian Electric dropped White Pine substation Monday morning, and we lost Maid, Jesse, ETPC, and Lowland substations because they all fed out of that. So they also had a line to fall outside White Pine sub, and their breaker did not operate, so the backup cleared the whole station. So that's why the outages happened this past weekend.
And Tire Industrial Park, May Industrial Park down.
Yeah, everybody. We got them back on, what was it, about an hour and a half, something like an hour.
Wasn't that long?
It's about an hour, I think.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it's about an hour.
1 hour and a half, I think.
But anyway, sometimes that stuff
They
happens.
had to roll trucks, so you can't do that for the skater rink. It's switching.
And we still haven't switched our load back on White Pine yet because Appalachian hasn't put any load on it, and that tells me that they're not confident that they've got it fixed yet, so we still have our load on 160 right now. Some of the other things there,
We got everything on 160?
everything's on 160. We got some Appalachian load on Cedar Creek right now. Of course, we're doing that maintenance on the Cedar Creek
We
line.
got our whole system on one substation.
So we've got everything on 160 at this point. Yeah, which is not a real good situation, but as soon as they get those issues worked out, we'll be switching, separating it back out. We continued the construction on Cherokee Park Road, that's joint use with Appalachian. Continued the Cedar Creek 69 KV project, those guys are doing really good on that. They're down to about 15 poles to change and then pull the fiber, and they'll be done with that. We're working on the breaker 644 at Cedar Creek substation, which that's our breaker, but Appalachian uses that circuit. We had a hydraulic system failure in there, so we're up there fixing that. Installed temporary power for the Chili's construction. We're moving on Chili's. And we repaired a broken pole in May Park that also had Appalachian on there, and it was right on the corner of the poles laying out in the road, so we repaired that. Planned and in progress work is more of the same stuff that we've been doing.
What's the annexation of Sunset Hills?
That's down there on the highway close to Ingles, Sunset Hill subdivision. That's where Appalachian won't give us one customer at the back to do that.
We talked about this before Bill Swan left.
Yeah, we really.
That man does not want to be inside the city limits.
I've talked to him, and he doesn't want to pay city taxes or anything for, for his property. And Greg gave us the option to get over there to it, to refeed it. It's gonna be about $20,000 to refeed that one customer. Plus, we have to buy all of Sunset Hills to be able to
I
serve.
tried to get this studio one customer, so that we could put some, street lights and sunset.
They don't have streetlights.
Yeah, a little kid got lost down there.
Yeah,
And,
Yeah, it would be a real easy swap for us, but they're being difficult on that one customer. Load peak for the month was 156 megawatts, and the wholesale energy was 87,000 megawatt hours. I think that's all the news that I have this time.
Any questions? Brian, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Mike, wastewater, please.
All right, this is the high points here. Water distribution, we've got a 8-inch water line in Morris Boulevard from the new pump station. We've got, working on that. Put a 6-inch tap on Howe Road for the new public works building. In sewer, we finished up the 800 feet gravity line on State Road 160 for the, across the road, and extended short section of sewer on Jones Franklin Road to pick up a new customer. And just kind of go over the projects a little bit. Our Spring Creek Interceptor, Garney Construction's got started on it. The Turkey Creek EQ Basin, hopefully we don't need it, but if we do, Spring Creek Basin will be available for us to help prevent an overflow. Right now, I just looked and checked with the plant, and we're not even close to overflowing, so we're not getting the amount of rain that they predicted right now. Unless something later
Saturday's
today.
probably the worst, wasn't it?
Yeah.
that was a rain.
Did
Yeah.
you have any issues then?
No, we were able to handle it, so we've really tightened up the system, $120 million should do something.
Well, it's,
soak it up, nothing else.
It's the Turkey Creek wastewater plant, we're getting, upgrades there, we're getting close to getting that completed. The lowland wastewater treatment plant, I'm hoping we're gonna have that done in about 3 weeks. And so we will, probably at the end of October, we'll probably have everything scheduled out to switch over ETPC, send it to lowland, and have the lowland plant up and operational.
Did y'all have any questions on the update I gave you?
you got it worked.
TDEC, yeah,
a
we
lot
got
of
everything
it
worked out.
Or worked out for something we shouldn't have had to have done.
We shouldn't have
Exactly.
done that. The people up the ladder showed some common sense.
Yeah.
And that's good. But
But y'all, it was probably a pretty big challenge just to get it worked back out where it was.
Yeah, it's a big, the meeting went really good. I thought.
Yeah.
But, you know, she's already called, lower level, has called in EPA, so now they're gonna be in there testing.
You're kidding.
So we were asking them to separate the wastewater side from the industrial side, keep us out of it. Since this field person called EPA in, they're coming in October to test the site down. Because of her, they've added the wastewater side too.
That happened before your meeting, right?
Yeah. Well, they call it
Transfer her to Memphis.
There'll be another one right behind her.
There's two of them,
That's just the way, you know,
They were apologetic about, they didn't appreciate tone and the way she handled the meeting. It was very disrespectful, and I told them that.
she's right.
Yeah. Oh, you should have been, now here you go, Brian. Mr. Wigington.
Yeah, just like
That's it.
there, you,
Yeah, you need that book on body language.
Don't ever take me to one of those.
She'd been in Dale Carnegie, of course. But anyway, that's,
yeah.
it worked out.
we're on line to get the plant started, get it rolling, so that's good news.
The best thing is, they're not gonna make us take any stormwater or move it to our side.
Yeah.
At least that's what they said.
So this was,
We've not found any evidence.
is
to
there
suspect
problems,
there's any issues
is there
going on.
problems across the street? Was
You know-
there, we never, was the sewer plant ever,
No.
No, that's what
so she's all of a sudden got them looking at going across the street?
Yep.
It's the first time in
Well,
20
she's
years.
wanting
or
to look
whatever.
at us.
Yeah.
Look at us. The city had it tested before they bought it, and we've done.
Yeah. There's been some preliminary testing done from even back before 2009, and they didn't find anything in Westmoreland.
But this is a whole different
Is that site
animal
across
than
the
our-
street a brownfield site?
No. Even though for all her calling in EPA and all that stuff, she mentioned that it could be a brownfield. Now, why, if you're mentioning a possible brownfield, why would you be talking about putting it on the national pollutants list and talking brownfield? Same sentence, it's really confusing. But their focus is on the old rayon facility. It's not really where furrow, the old nylon and polyester, their issues. But from what we heard, Mike, in the remediation, they didn't seem to think that they found that much that out there that would render that on the MPL list.
None of the other brown plants have made it to
Have
the
ever
MPL,
made it, yeah.
national pollutants list, so, or the super fund. So there's not a history of that ever happening. So that's why I said, I think it's gonna be okay.
The sister plant in Nashville over there, they're developing it.
Yeah.
And they're,
No, that's, yeah.
yeah, that's the same
Same
plant that
thing.
ran simultaneously.
You know, the
50
threat,
years.
the threat she made to us was basically, I dare you, plug another one of those lines that we'd already, the
Got
design
approval
said,
to do.
yeah, got
From
approved.
her department.
And she threatened this circling thing that says, you know, if they put us in the big group, then we could help, they could make us help pay for all of it if they found something. I just told them, I said, you bankrupt sewer system. You did that. So they said they couldn't promise to guarantee us they could do that. It would be they'd give support and recommendation to EPA that we should not be a part of that. But this girl's already calling, so.
So hopefully we'll just go through the testing and everything, come back and it'll be fine.
Hopefully we need, yeah.
Yeah.
I just wonder what her perfect world is. If it wasn't for all these darn people.
Regulators.
Yeah.
I can just imagine how it would
Let's
be.
see, ETP's, the force main's in, we're just gonna tie it in. Let's see, I was trying to think of anything else. The new water tank and pump station at the East Industrial Park, it's just the way the world's rolling right now. Everything's in, ready to go, and a bearing on on both pumps. They didn't ship the lower bearing on the motors, and so we've been struggling with the manufacturer until we get it in here. But it's here now, so I'm hoping to start that up any day.
Ship the motors out there.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of,
That's unbelievable.
yeah.
It's called lock rotor.
Yeah. And that's it. That wraps it up.
But we had a good week, that overall, I didn't mean to be negative on that, it
Yeah.
went
Oh,
good.
sound.
We got support from people that had good common sense.
That's good.
So, is this pretty much the end of the order right here?
Now, yeah, that should rev up the order. I've got some.
You got the EQ.
You got a little bit of time because of the foundation, didn't you say?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah,
So that
that
helps.
That
Yeah, it's
helps.
extension.
We got an extension on the EQ basins till January 9th, which they should be done in December. And like I said, one basin's already online now. It's the other basin we gotta get finished. That happened a whole lot. But now I've got some projects I'm gonna be bringing to you. I wanted to try to do some preliminary groundwork, but like one of the things I wanna bring to you is we really need to look at replacing the 6-inch water line out low one. And I put it in the budget this year, and that's about $600,000.
Where are you talking about?
You know, there's a 6-inch line right there in front of between the plant and lowland. It's the original 6-inch that's installed in 1949 or 51, whenever it was put
Will
in.
we have to bore that?
Yeah. Yeah.
But we already put the new down to the railroad.
Yeah, I thought-
Yeah, but
We got to the railroad,
we got
now
to
we
the
gotta
railroad.
finish it out.
I thought we took it all the way out.
No, we didn't. We broke it up in parts. That's the project I'm gonna be bringing to you. Let's see, something I'm wanting the blowers, we're digging into the blowers at the wastewater at the Turkey Creek plant. I've got about 1.5 in the budget. However, the more we dig into this, I think we're gonna be able to trim that down quite a bit. We got to dig in a little more, but still, we need to replace the blowers at the Turkey Creek plant, and we should see a rate of return on that. That should bring back some money for us. And then the third thing I wanna bring to you is, it's about a $250,000 project, is what I wanna look at is for the past, since the orders, I guess since about 2010 or 11, we have not received septic haulers at the Turkey Creek plant. And the reason is it loaded up the plant so quickly, so fast, it caused issues, and so we just stopped it. It was stopped long before we ever took over the services. We've come up with a plan to be able to receive them, and we can buy a package unit, it's more or less almost plug and play. And we can drop it in up at the old wastewater treatment plant in East Industrial Park. And it's a really neat unit, but the septic haulers come back in, and we'll issue cards, and they just swipe a card, and it measures it, screens it, puts it in the system at a consistent flow rate, so it doesn't overload anything, and it's all automated.
Where they go with
Then we can
That
start
goes to
generating.
Turkey Creek,
And
right?
now we go to Turkey Creek,
Should we?
but it blends in with the rest of the system, and we can generate some revenue off that. We can go back to charging for these septic haulers, and
Rod's question, where do they take it down if they're not taking it to us?
I was
it's supposed
wondering
to
that.
get well. Greenville's accepting it,
All right.
Cobb County's supposed to be accepting it.
Probably a farm somewhere.
Maybe.
Let me ask you one more thing about the order, and I know it's on here, but it looks like, the construction and that is we're about there.
Yeah, we're about there.
But wasn't there a lot of bookkeeping, paperwork, crap, and stuff, and all that, and all the test,
Yeah, we've got.
we still got that piece of it
Well,
over our heads.
we've got
right?
the bulk of it done. Right now, basically what we gotta do is we gotta, once a year, we gotta submit a report. And that's in January 31st. And we've got to prepare that each year. And we've got that even kind of slimmed down where we can just throw data in and modify the dates and ship that to them.
So we checked off everything on this thing now.
We're coming up on the Spring Creek Interceptor is gonna be the last project hanging out there. And like I said, we're working on it, just getting started. Hopefully by next year, this time, we'll be done with it.
I mean, I knew there was a bunch of other than major construction, there was a bunch of other things they had in that agreement, wasn't there?
Well,
They looked at them all.
we gotta start doing smoke testing again, and we've started some, we're behind in some areas, that may be
Yeah.
some of that in the lateral.
Yeah, we've got to get on what I call the bomb crew activities, and that's smoke testing, we've got to do CCTV work, we've got to do manhole inspections. And I'm trying to, I'm looking on these CCTV truck, I'm wanting to bring it before the board here, hope maybe next month. But anyway, one of the things I found out, the new technology, we can get 3 times the footage that we normally get. So maybe we won't have to gear up, and we can do a few things and get all this stuff done with the manpower we got now. That's what I'm looking at, trying to figure out if we can cover enough ground and get everything done. Technology helps when it improves.
Yeah. All right, thanks, Mike.
All right.
You want to?
Yeah, I mean, y'all know he's out with surgery, right? He will be back for another, probably 3 or 4, maybe 5 weeks or so. From a telecom standpoint, installs are pretty normal. Like we said earlier, we're ramping up to about 8 a day on the IPTEPs. We've done some training on the new software, new product, hardware also for the program itself. And continuing to work out the bugs. And those are the biggest things in putting together a network map, if you will, for this proposed new product. That's really all the guys have been doing, which is really busy. That's most of it from a telecom standpoint.
Thank you.
And
You got anything on?
yeah,
Just gotta do it.
just real quick, let's talk about the debt refunding. You've seen the articles in the paper, all that kind of stuff. The rate we ended up with was paper quoted 322. And so we've refinanced about $16 million in the electric side. At that rate, we were paying 2 1/4 as of the end of, I think it was July or August, I don't remember, but anyway. So it's about close to a percentage point change, right? It's about $155,000 additional interest cost a year on the electric side. In telecom, we're refinanced right at $4 million. That's about $40,000 a year. And in sewer, it was $10.5 million. It's about $110,000 a year in interest. I think there's a piece that's maybe a little bit misleading when they say new money on the sewer side. That was really taking some undrawn funds from the bond fund and then refinancing that. So it's not like it's not a new issue itself. That makes sense. Which is close to $10 million. So essentially everything we have in the power system now is fixed. $21 million. That includes the 4.5 for the office. So that 4.5 was rolled into this issue.
Now, how many
And is it-
Fed bumps is it gonna take to get back for a 2
Uh,
or 3?
Yeah, 2, probably 2.
Two Fed bumps.
It depends what they are. Right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So 21
So it's
million.
gone to market?
Yeah, it sold Tuesday.
It's locked.
The 24th.
It's done, right?
It's locked at 3.22%.
Which is how much more?
That's like 0.9%. We were paying $2.25. That's what our variable rate was at the time, and now it's
20 years.
Yes.
City gets some.
39. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the same rate.
There's more to be issued.
Yeah, we've got some pieces that are out in spring of next year. It's really a fixed rate with Pinnacle that was at like 365. So we just have to reevaluate it then. Is it really worth refinancing that or not? The other pieces are out in like 2020 and 23, so that we always have. This is really the bulk of it for now. Water system, we didn't do anything. Wastewater, what was it, about $10.5 million. That takes us to about 54% variable rate. Telecom, we refinanced everything to a fixed rate at a complete $10 million. So company as a whole, we're $78 million fixed, 52 variable. We're about 40% variable, down from about 60%. It was essentially flipped.
We still got 47 million in the wastewater
Yeah,
and variable.
that's correct.
Some of those are we getting near the end of some of those, or?
The closest one right now on the wastewater side is, the put time frame is 2020. If I remember right, I've got the last one I guess, sorry.
Is that
The
TML?
next one's 2023.
Is that TML? Barrel?
Yeah, yeah, pretty much everything from a drawing from the standpoint was variable.
And that's not much. If I remember right, that's 20 and 20. I was thinking it's 21 and 23, and they're not a whole lot of money.
Do you know what percentage the city, what their variable fixed?
That takes them back to, saw that in the paper, 47% comes from online, or I saw it somewhere, I don't know if that's right.
So they're kind of blended too.
Yeah.
Who knows?
I don't know about that. Don't quote me on that, because I just don't remember for sure. Does that make sense? That was really all.
Who bought it?
It's a group I had not heard of, Richard and Gardner or Greer or something like that.
There are multiple participants on it.
Yeah, we had 9 groups had essentially applied and 6 actually bid on it, which was pretty decent.
But were there multiple participants in the actual loan?
No, it's not alone.
Did Pinnacle take it off?
The same
Did they
company
take
took
it
it
off?
off, right?
Did they take it
The
off?
same company took
Yeah,
all
took
of
it
it,
off.
yeah. There were multiple participants that bid on it, but the same company took it all off. That's your question?
Yeah. Sometimes when the loan's real big, you
Yeah,
multiple
split it
banks
up.
will come in and say,
Yeah.
we don't want 20 million,
Yeah.
we'll take 10.
Yeah.
You take 5, you take 5 or something.
Well, they might, you know that they'll keep it all, or?
I doubt
They
it.
may move the paper.
Yeah, because,
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure. Because there were coupons as high as 5% on some of them. That's the way it was. Some of them as low as just under 3. The all-in rate was, like I said, was 3.22.
All right, Jody?
Yeah, I'm just fun park, I want to show you one thing of interest, but I did visit with Colgate yesterday, about an hour. Jim Belcher and I went down and talked with them about pending rate change. And, you know, they understood, they're more concerned about being sure they got their credits going forward, but I'm sure that letter will go to corporate. So it's probably not over yet, but the meeting really did go pretty good. There, no plan for expansion. But we do have a Fiber Alliance meeting today at 10 o'clock when I get out of here. This idea of having a group in East Tennessee pledge fiber assets to maybe have long haul transport, which would help us get even from North City all the way to Bristol, Tennessee. But that's what the meeting later today is. And this is all I'm gonna leave you with, or I may have Alan, I'll talk to George, Alan Bridwell, who Marshall traveled with, you saw in the paper, so I may have him come down and just talk to you all about it. He would be offered to do that. Remember, we participate in the Northeast Tennessee Valley, RIDA, and you can see the shaded area. Us and Appalachian are kind of on the far tips, but that is the area. This map is kind of fuzzy, but you can see how they we market the area from Tri-Cities and the interstates. There's all the major automotives that are within 1 day driving distance. Pretty substantial. On their new website, this is their top automotive sections, sectors. The ones with the star are in Morristown. That's pretty impressive for the industrial jobs that we have here. Molly's number 2 in automotive, only the Eastman, which I don't know how they get in the automotive side of it, but you got to put them in some category. But anyway, we have 6 in there. Actually, if you go to page 2, we had 7. Kawasaki is in, and the number of jobs are on the right. Leaving automotive, if you go to food processing, Cook Foods is number 1 in East Tennessee. Then there's Rich Products. Via Films, now they make packaging for food, it's their FDA, and so does Sunoco, so they fall into food processing, even though they're, I call them plastic extrusions, but, so we got 4 of the top, 7 or 8 of those. You go to major chemical companies, as they call, I don't really look at Team Tech as a chemical company, but they're number 3 on the list. They do plastics, molding, wrestling. Iconics, former NCR. ColorTech is in there. ColorTech continues to grow. I'd say within a year, they may be an MSB level customer for the next edition. Then you got Petoskey Plastics. They've expanded several times, and Trelleborg. What is that?
I'm gonna ask you to do this, something bring
Who
that
was
up.
Trelleborg? What was their name?
That's,
They're right down here in the
Side helmet, yeah.
Side helmet, but that used to be Sonoma.
Dermot or?
No.
Yeah, it used to be McDermott.
W.R. Grace.
Yeah,
W.R.
yeah.
Grace.
Former,
Oh,
yeah,
Grace.
W.R. Grace, yeah, that's it. You're looking at, appliances, GE's still here, 170 jobs making their panels. If you look at distribution companies, we don't really have any. Walmart, Wallace Hardware, of course, it's not our customer, but remember, we almost got that Walmart distribution center out of Lowell one time. That would have been a nice catch. So anyway, data centers, we do have sites. It's one of the data centers we have. And within our IDA, there's 4 of us that are into fiber to the home. And both Bristol's, us, and Irving. Of course, we know Johnson City's headed that way. Newport will be in that list when they get up and go. And we'll see who else. Appalachian will do something, they will. Now, board meetings. I want you to look at your calendar. If you could work, there's a CSA is one of our, they have executive briefing every year on the Wednesday before. You know, we can't do it on Thanksgiving week. So the Thursday the next week will be the 29th. I've been asked to come out and participate in board training for being kind of an instructor for TM EPA and board training.
Is that me?
Relative, you could go with me if you're. But they asked me if I'd come to that. It so happens to be the same time I'm going out there. Y'all tell me whether you could do.
Now, they've changed
Tuesday
all the
or-
open meetings,
Or maybe a
crap.
Friday. Changed.
They're
Yeah,
working
trying
on
to.
that, yeah.
They're talking about it. It never does go through that way, seems like.
I don't, whatever.
So,
You gotta go too.
you want me to just float
What?
some of those days out? That's the week after Thanksgiving, and really the CSA briefing would be, is on a Wednesday. And then, the day they asked me to teach, would be on Thursday. So if y'all can't do it, I'll tell them no, but if y'all can work around today, I'll participate in their board training.
Are you gonna do open meetings?
No, I'm not, no, they want me to talk about, fiber optics, financials, and business plans, and how you get into it for other. There's a lot of these distributors out here getting a lot of pressure, and they're looking at it. And
Well, they ought to get a lot of pressure.
So they wanted somebody that's been in it to come talk about it. I said, well, I'll do it. I'll check if I can, we can rearrange a board meeting. Friday's fine with me if y'all wanna
They don't matter.
wait till a Friday morning.
That is not Thanksgiving.
Week after.
The week after, maybe.
You're right, yeah. Week after Thanksgiving.
I'm moving my son on Friday.
You what?
So I'm moving my son back to Cleveland on
On
Friday.
Friday?
do either day.
Do Tuesday morning? Either one.
Tuesday's
So anyway, that's all I have. Wow.
I've got something, it's a fly speck on the windshield light. But I don't know if y'all noticed on Facebook, there's an awful lot of Social Security recipients. And I don't know that they all understand that used to everybody got their Social Security check on the 1st.
Yeah,
And now they're staggered.
yeah.
And a lot of people don't have the money to pay their light bills because their check hadn't come. Is there anything y'all can do about that?
Yeah, I mean, we have to put people on the same billing schedule as everybody else. We've had Social Security billing for a while. We're trying to transition those people to a normal billing cycle. It can actually work out better for them, because we've got folks that are, a couple $1,000 behind. And we're sending them to.
Really?
Yeah, and we've sent them to, or sending them to Douglas Cherokee or wherever, or letting them pay that over, like up to 12 months or something. But we are moving them to a normal billing cycle, if you will. Now, again, some of it, and I don't have these numbers in front of me, some of those folks, it actually works out better for them. It can give them a little bit extra time, they can get some funds from other places, and it can help them get their stuff paid up. it's not really our choice, to be honest with you.
I know it would be some trouble.
And when TDEC says that from a fair billing practices standpoint, you gotta treat them the same. We're really not supposed to be doing them. I didn't know that, to be honest with you. It's kinda like the donations thing we went through a couple of years ago. We had donated money to United Way for years. Come to find out, we're really not supposed to be doing that. We've been doing this Social Security billing for a long time. For that same reason, it's like it gives those people as much break as you can anyway.
And you know, I thought, well, you could put them on automatic pay, but they may not have checking accounts.
And we've done letters, we've called folks, I don't know if we've actually went out and seen them in person. But we're working with every one of those folks individually. I think it was about 400, if I remember right.
Really?
I think that number's right, but we're working with every one of them individually. What works for this particular case. That makes sense?
Yeah.
Does that help? I mean, I know a lot of people have gotten very upset, but we've talked to those people, like I said, one-on-one. Calm them down as much as we can, and give them a lot of different options.
I don't got your name.
If nothing else, we didn't rid some of it all. If it's like you just can't get there.
I wouldn't write any of it out, but, you know, accommodate them if you can.
We had several complaints about that.
We have. I didn't know if it made it to your all's level or not, because we were doing this last month, and I just didn't get a chance to talk to y'all about it, to be honest with you. We've been doing it for, I guess, 2 months.
Oh, that's good.
And there's a reason too, I mean, there's a reason they do that. They want everybody treated, you know. You can't treat
Well,
churches
it's
differently.
again the
You can't
law to treat people
I know.
differently, but now that's a different case.
Senior citizens ask us that, if we can treat senior citizens different. TDECs can't do it.
Well,
It's done with the best
look what-
intentions originally.
Is our credit card payment increased substantially? People paying with credit cards.
We had those numbers last month, but yeah, I mean, we're getting
A lot of
payments.
people now adding back the cost of credit cards. If they cost us 3%.
Yeah.
They're putting a line item on.
Two things I remember off the top of my head, the way we process those is it's about as cheap as we do. We don't process it ourselves, but there's a piece of that we put in there that saves us a lot of money. The
Yeah.
last numbers I remember was about 1% transaction cost, which is not much at all. 1%
Do all
transaction-
credit card companies charge that?
How are you doing 1% transaction on Visa
Right.
or American Express?
Tell them.
We don't, how do you do that?
I don't know. how
Pass-through
much-
rate on Visa is 143,
Right.
and pass-through on Amex is 3 cents.
It's a government rate.
Yes.
It's the rate.
Really?
American
It's a low
Express has
government.
always been higher.
Yeah,
We
Brandon
don't
found
take a
it.
lot of American Express, again, I don't know those numbers off the top of my head, we don't get a lot of American Express. It's predominantly Visa, to be honest with you. But it is a government rate.
So the government rate is cheaper than pass-through.
That'd be good, though. We could do a
I
summary.
can kind of.
Have y'all seen that on
put some stuff
anything?
together for you.
I don't.
Go to a restaurant and you pay with a credit card and they add back 2.5.
Just
I
about
haven't- I
American
don't blame,
Express.
I don't blame them, but I
They
haven't
do.
seen it, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know about restaurants, but
Yeah,
The
in
classic
my
one used to be
mind,
back,
you
yes,
got Millstone,
you
where
could do that
people
anymore,
pay-
y'all used to have a cash
We
price.
can't,
Millstone,
you
we're
can't
at
still,
that.
you can't still.
Well, people pay for everything.
One of the
No,
things-
that's $2, $6.
Yeah, one of the things we looked at was, somebody come in, some company will pay a $50,000 bill, and at that time, it could cost us 2 or 3, 4%. It's like, just can't take it. The process is now, it's much cheaper. There's very few large bills, what I call large bills, over $5,000 that are paid with Visa.
Oh, they still digging
Or
us on
credit card.
it. Have 50,000 guys, they, so they go back and pay 10,000 5 times.
Right. They accumulate points, all that kind of thing. I mean, I'll be glad to put together a summary. I'm
So we
working
can
on
pay
this
our,
working
we
on
can
this.
pay our bills with a Visa?
Been
American
pay
Express?
TVA with our Visa?
Huh? What's the current,
Well, I'm paying a
what's the
1%.
cutoff?
I'll have to look.
But there is.
I don't think we actually do have a cutoff right now.
Appalachian Electric's $1,500,
Yeah.
nothing over 1,500.
because they're so good.
Nothing over 1,500 can be paid
On
with
the credit card, right? You can pay up to 1,500 with your credit card.
Because we've looked at, we can look at individual payments, if it's gonna cost us, you know, obviously more than it's worth. And we're still.
I know, because I think my
But-
credit
We
card.
looked at it, we looked at it, on that, it wasn't that much.
All right, anything else, from anybody before we adjourn?
move to adjourn.
Thank you all very much, we are adjourned.
I got rid of American Express, 100 years.